Hello folks, and welcome to another episode of what we like to call our weekly update, where it's not just about what we're doing here in the shop, but it's about what you guys are doing in your shop as well. And I gotta say that originally I started doing this on Facebook, and I just, for kicks last week, posted it on YouTube, and I was surprised. There's a lot of folks on YouTube that don't use Facebook, and they said that they did want to see this show. So we're going to include it in both places from here on out. The only downside is like the people on Facebook can post their pictures of the projects they're working on, and on YouTube we don't have that ability. But maybe there's something we can do a little bit later about that. I'll explain more in the show. But basically what this is about projects that you have in the works. And the whole idea of this is to encourage each other to finish them, help us if we come to some sticking points on it, and most of all, to hold ourselves accountable to finish what we start. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to start off with what you guys on Facebook have been doing. So Tim Charles, he finished up a bookcase this week. Looked really nice. Good to him. Doral Kiefer, he's continuing to work on this piano bar that it's so cool. He said he actually got the walnut top on it this week, so I'm waiting to see some photos of that. Rob Appleman, he made some marking gauges, some homemade marking gauges for like doing mortises and stuff, and you know what, that's always handy to have. Tools, great thing to add to your collection. Ryan Denzel, he made a dresser for his kid. Maybe you remembered last week or the week before, he made a platform bed, and this dresser is going to be going underneath it, so that's pretty cool. Someone new, I might have your name wrong here, but it looks like it's Invo Skin. He made some wooden forks. I know like wooden spoons are kind of like all the rage. He made some wooden forks. Probably couldn't have been easy. I don't know how useful that would be for cutting steak. I don't know. Brian Potter made a garden planter bench for his yard. Francisco Garcia, he's got an old coffee table he thinks is about 80 years old that he's refinishing. Dustin Rockholt, he's got a customer and made some beds for dogs. So having customers is always a good thing. And then lastly, I really have to apologize. I feel kind of stupid on this one. For weeks, I've been talking about this guy building these big cabinet doors, and I kept calling him Spencer J, when his real name is Jay Spencer. I've been saying it backwards, so Jay, I'm sorry. But hey, you got two first names, so it's easy to confuse, right? All right, that's what you guys were up to this past week. Here's what I'm up to. So I've been continuing work on that coffee table for the customer. And remember last week I thought I had a problem, wasn't quite sure how I was going to work through it with the bottom stretcher in. How did I get the top stretcher in? Well, I filmed a little video, it's real short, on what the problem was and how I fixed it. So last week on the update I said I was working on the coffee table and I had a problem with my stretchers and legs. And so, as I mentioned, the bottom stretcher is a mortise and tenon joint, a through mortise and tenon. And the top was going to be a bridle joint that goes in. Simple enough. Looks great, right? Well, problem. I have the stretcher in. I have the top mortised out. I'm getting ready for my bridle joint. And the idea is that when this sits in there, it should sit like that. But I have to get it in there. So when I set this on top, well, now nothing even comes close to lining up. So what I had to do was I have to bump these out a little bit. And then I have have to slowly try and fit this in. And it goes together like a puzzle. So I have to tap a little, and then tap the sides in, tap a little on top. And voila, pretty good. I have a little bit of planing to do on top. It looks like the top stretcher sticks up just a little bit from the legs, but it looks like it's even all the way across. It sticks up the same distance on both. So all in all, that's a win for me. Okay, back to the rest of our update. All right, also too, besides the coffee table, I've been continuing some work on the wine station. Some of you last week were calling me out on it, and, you know, I got to practice what I preach. I got to hold myself accountable. So I got it all stained, or sanded, then stained. But originally I was going to go with the General Finishes Java gel stain. And I got to tell you, I was having some problems with it, so that's a whole nother issue. But I changed gears, and I went with Jacobine by Minwax. It's not as dark as I'd like, but at any rate, it's progress, right? Okay, some other things. I won't have much of a work week here in the shop. I've got a show to do up in Adrian. It's the HBA show, and I go there every year. They hire me to do some demos. Speaking of demos, I'm probably going to do this little video about the dovetails and the ancient construction here. I'll do that later in the week. I'll do that on Wednesday, I think, a short little video, because some of you were asking me about that. But, something I want to do new just for this series here, and I need your thoughts on this. So I want to throw in question of the week. This is something that you can ask about woodworking. It's something you can ask me. It's something you can ask Safety Dan. Pretty much whatever's on your mind. I do have a couple of little limitations. I'm pretty private about my family, so I just go on the basics on that. I don't talk politics or religion. Safety, do you have any restrictions on anything?
Nope, you can ask me anything.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'll answer it.
He's an open book for you. So if you guys have a question for either one of us, feel free to put that in your comments below. And head things off, I've got a question for you. I'm thinking about maybe changing the name of this Monday morning show to What Are You Doing? I kind of like the sound of it, because I'm asking you, what are you doing? And vice versa, you're kind of asking us. So let me know if you want to keep it our weekly update, or if you want to go with the new name, What Are You Doing? Let's see what else I got. Oh, okay, so this was for the YouTubers out there. I was blown away by all your comments. First of all, thank you so much. You guys have really been receptive to what we're doing here. And so I was going to some of your guys' sites, and I was looking at it, and I noticed some of you do some really good work, but your subscriber numbers are low. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for us to give back. And I'd like to spotlight one viewer a week, and we'll tell everybody who you are, what you do. We'll put links to your sites and everything. So if you'd like to get in on that, I ask that you email me, and I'll put my email down below here and in the description. Email me, and there's a couple things I want to know. Obviously, I want to know what your site is. I want to know what it is you do. Is it something specific, like turning or, whatever? I also want to know, what's your profession? Or do you do this full-time, or is, woodworking just a hobby of yours? What your goals are, where you want to see yourself. And then last of all, I ask that you just be patient, because I'm going to do it on a first-come, first-served basis. And I don't want anyone getting mad at me because I blew past you. But I will email back to each and every one of you. We'll talk about what it is you're trying to do. Let's see. Oh, okay. Upcoming videos for this week, as I mentioned on Wednesday, I'm going to go over the the history and the future of the dovetail. And then on Friday I'm going to do another just plain board episode where I'm going to talk about the best way to learn woodworking. This is something that's been asked to me recently. What's the best way to learn woodworking? And so I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to learn, and I think you'll be really surprised what number 1 is. But speaking of that, again, I want to thank you for your subscription and subscribing. Dan, if I could add the sign here. So because of you guys, we've been really growing in the last just like couple weeks. We've had a couple thousand new subscribers. So welcome all of you. And now we're shooting for a goal. We want to get to 50,000 subs by May 1st. And I think this is really doable because we're already at 39,000. I don't think it's going to take that much to push us over, but we can only hit this number with your help. So please like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see you here on Wednesday. So until then, on behalf of myself and Safety Dan, go dance now, people. That's it.